Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It is February 20th, 2023 and Ansu Fati has declared his desire to stay at Barcelona. Also, Marcus Thuram is once again being linked with the club and Barcelona are now assuming that Sergiño Dest will be back in the summer of 2023. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and before we begin with the news, I would like to remind all of you that if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's free, it only takes a second, and in doing so, you will be helping the small and humble channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking to purchase any Barcelona jerseys or gear or any jerseys from any other team in all the major leagues around the world, make sure you hit the kickback. The link is down below in the description. Now, Barcelona defeated Cadiz yesterday 2-0 at the Spotify Camp Nou to maintain their lead over Real Madrid, 8 points at the top of La Liga table. And in yesterday's match, Ansu Fati started at the left wing and was later substituted, and he was seen upset when he was substituted when he returned to the bench. And the media outlets have now taken advantage of this situation to say that Ansu Fati is mad that he's not getting playing time and that he's looking to leave Barcelona. Well, Ansu Fati clarified why he was upset after he was substituted when he said, "I have a contract until 2027 and hopefully I can spend even more years here. I want to spend many years at Barca. Yesterday I left angry because sometimes I think that I don't give back everything people at the Camp Nou have given me. Those who support me so much. I am very grateful and happy to be in the club that I love and in which I grew up." So Ansu Fati is making it very clear, something that I've said many times before, is that the player has no intention of leaving Barcelona. He wants to remain at the club, and of course the club also wants Ansu Fati to remain with them. And any rumors stating that Ansu Fati is upset or leaving are absolutely false, and this is nothing but media outlets trying to exploit a situation for some ratings. Now, Xavi also spoke after the match and he blasted all the criticism that the media are currently giving Sergio Roberto when he said, "Sergio always performs in different positions. The criticism of him has been really unfair, among the worst I have seen in my career. This is a player who's come through at the club. He performs wherever he plays. He never complains. He's a tremendous captain, selfless, loves the club. I have blind faith in him." Now, there is no doubt that Xavi's words are true about Sergio Roberto being absolutely selfless. After all, when he extended his contract last season, he accepted to reduce his salary by a lot. And in fact, he is the least earning player on the squad, and he's earning a salary similar to those players who play for the Barca Athletic, and he has agreed to renew his contract once again with the club because Xavi has requested it, and once again he will still be earning that very low salary because all Sergio Roberto cares about is helping the club as much as possible and not his pockets like other players have shown. Now, Sergio Roberto, I think, had a really good match yesterday, and actually I'm the first one to admit that I was wrong when I said before that I didn't think it would be a good idea for him to play in the midfield, and he absolutely proved me wrong because I think he was very solid in the midfield and he had a lot of successful runs to the box where he was able to draw defenders away from other players in the box, which left plenty of open spaces for Barcelona. And after all, Sergio Roberto did score Barcelona's first goal and assisted the second goal in that pass to Robert Lewandowski. So who knows, it looks like Sergio Roberto could, after all, mitigate that loss of Pedri at Old Trafford on Thursday. Now, speaking of yesterday's match, there's a lot of questions about why didn't Xavi play Pablo Torre. And I'll be the first one to agree with this statement because I think Pablo Torre has a very similar profile to Pedri, and I think he would have been a good player to have some minutes yesterday to replace Pedri, and he'd also be a good player to rotate Pedri with, so Pedri is not exhausted and not playing 90 minutes of every single match. And the rumors are right now is that the club seem to be a little bit upset about Pablo Torre's attitude, and this is something I've talked about in my previous videos. Pablo Torre was signed as a Barca Athletic player with the idea that he would train with the first team and play some matches with the first team, but ever since his arrival, Pablo Torre has refused to play with Barca Athletic, and every time the club have instructed him to go play with Barca Athletic, he always seems to be conveniently injured, and the club think that Pablo Torre doesn't want to earn his spot on the first team, that he just wants to be handed that position, and the club are not too happy about that because any player who has arrived in Barcelona has had to earn his spot either by being a substitute for a long time with the first team or playing with the Barca Athletic until adjusting and proving themselves worthy of a first team spot. And seems that Pablo Torre is not willing to do this, and this is why some are explaining why Xabi has not given Pablo Torre more opportunities than than he was initially thought to have. And of course, the club have met already with Pablo Torre twice in the past to try to explain to him that he needs to be playing with Barca Athletic so he can continue developing his skills, because it's critical that he gets as much playing time as possible at his age of 19 years old. Pablo Torre seems to keep finding excuse after excuse not to play with Barca Athletic, and it seems that he is comfortable being a first-team substitute, which of course worries Xabi and the technical staff because they think that he should be playing as much as possible. Now on to the news that Marcus Thuram is once again being linked with Barcelona. Now we've talked about Marcus Thuram in the past. His contract with Borussia Mönchengladbach is set to expire this summer, and it seems that the player doesn't want to renew his contract with the Bundesliga club, and he is looking for a new destination, and as such he had been linked with Barcelona, since Barcelona are looking for strikers, and especially those who will be free agents in the summer, since the club does have difficult financial situation right now. And well, today Borussia Mönchengladbach have officially confirmed that they will not be extending the contract on Marcus Thuram because he doesn't want to stay at the club. So once again, he's now being linked with Barcelona. Now Barcelona are a big fans of Marcus Thuram and have considered him in the past as a possible substitute for Robert Lewandowski. And in fact, Marcus Thuram's father, Lilian Thuram, the former Barcelona player, has said in the open that if the player does receive an offer from Barcelona, that he would call Marcus himself and tell him to join Barcelona because he thinks that would be the best team for his son. But nonetheless, Barcelona's main objective right now is to sign Vitor Roque. But if that signing does not happen, then Marcus Thuram will be the club's second option. But nonetheless, even if Barcelona don't sign Marcus Thuram, it's reported that the player has around 12 clubs interested in him, including Real Madrid, Arsenal, and Bayern Munich. So the player will definitely has plenty of options to choose from, even if Barcelona decide not to sign him. Now on to the news that Barcelona are now assuming that Sergiño Dest will be back in the summer, and that the club are gonna have to deal with this problem come the end of the season. Now Sergiño Dest is currently on loan with AC Milan with an option to buy for 20 million euros, and when Sergiño Dest first arrived in the Serie A, he was doing okay, but then his performance began to dip. But AC Milan were still interested in signing him, but they wanted a reduction of that 20 million euro price. But then things kept getting worse for Sergiño Dest, and he's now been kept out of the list for the Champions League, and he's actually hasn't been playing many matches in the Serie A as of late. So Barcelona are now assuming that AC Milan are not going to want to pay the 20 million euros or any price for Sergiño Dest, and that the American fullback will be coming back to the club in the summer. Now Barcelona have no intention of keeping Sergiño Dest on the squad, so they are going to be looking for a new team for him. But so we're going to have to see where Sergiño Dest is going to end up next, because Xabi does not want him on his squad. Now speaking of loans, there are two more players that will be coming back in the summer, which are of course Abde and Nico, because they're only out on loan for this season with no options to buy for their respective teams. And in regards to Abde, Barcelona are looking to sell him in the summer because he has a really good market value, and Barcelona think that they could earn a really good transfer fee of him. Of course, unless he performs really well towards the end of the season and in the preseason, then Barcelona would consider keeping him. But for now, the main objective of Barcelona is to transfer the Moroccan winger come summer. Now, in the case of Nico, Barcelona are also open to selling him, but it's reported that they could give him a little bit more chance than Abde to prove himself, because after all, Barcelona have a need for center midfielders, so Nico could be given the opportunity in the summer to prove himself and earn his spot on the first team. But if Barcelona do receive a good offer for the player, then they will consider transfer him. So we're gonna have to see what happens when Nico comes summer. Now we will end today's video with the news that Lionel Messi was seen landing in the city of Barcelona. And as such, this has once again sparked the rumors that Messi is there to negotiate his possible return with the club. Now I'm here to tell you that those rumors are of course absolutely false. Messi is not in the city of Barcelona to speak to the club or negotiate his return. He's simply there because that's where his home is. So that's where he's going to be spending the next few days that he's been, where he's going to be off, because there's a holiday now in France. And as I've said many times before, the possibility of Messi returning to Barcelona is almost zero. Of course, the club are always going to have their door open to Messi because that's his home. But given the financial situation at the club, it's impossible for them to be able to pay Messi's wages or any bonuses or variables. And there's even people within the club that think that the return of Messi would actually hurt the reconstruction project that the club are currently undergoing, because Barcelona are looking to build a team for the future made up of young players. And of course, Lionel Messi is at the end of his career, and he's not a player who's going to be able to constantly pressure, to constantly come back and help with the defensive duties. So it's not possible that Messi will be returning to Barcelona. Maybe later in the future in a more administrative role, but definitely not as a player. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.